Hi, my name is Eniola. So me and Gift will be taking you through how to land your first data science job. So before we start, I would like to introduce ourselves. So my name is Eniola. I work as a data scientist at Benchy AI. So in Benchy AI, what we just try to do is just make healthcare accessible for countries like low resource countries through AI. Yes, so over to Gift.
Yeah, so I'm Gift. I work as a sport data scientist and software developer at CBB Analytics. So CBB Analytics basically means College Basketball Analytics, right? It's the number one leading basketball analytics of college in the US. So what we do basically is we try to analyze data for different basketball colleges, right? Like what we are trying to do is, for example, counter attacks and the rest like that. Maybe for example, stuff like the way Stephen Curry does, there's like a position. If you have noticed, like there's a pattern in which each person there's these repeated patterns that we have. So, for example, now if you notice Stephen Curry, you notice like if you have to check the point to point where he plays like throw the ball from, you notice there's a particular spot. So how can we always stop him from that point, avoiding him from staying from that point, throw the ball into the net? So we'll be able to have higher chance over the other. So this we use statistics and statistics strategy, and we are trying to bring AI into it. Currently, we are working machine learning with JavaScript, right? Which is why I was hired. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Thank you for the introduction, Gift. So the US, according to McKinsey, their analysis says that in US alone, they will face a shortage of about 150,000 data analysts and an addition 1.5 million data savvy manager. So we try to wonder where are these jobs? If data can tell us that people are looking for data scientists, people are looking for like machine learning experts. So like how do people get these jobs? Are these jobs hiding? Like where are they? So this is where Gifts and me will come in and show you like how to like get these jobs. So we are just going to look at the three common roles in data science. So we have data scientist, we have data engineer, and we have a data analyst. So a data scientist can also be called a statistician and also a data manager. So basically what a data scientist do is just try to make sense out of your data, trying to bring insight from it. The leverage on a data scientist will be able to take data science projects from end to end. So like in a data science part, we have like the first part where you do like your insight building, where you try to do your exploratory data analysis. You try to like get insight from the data, then you build your model. After building your model, you try to deploy it. So a data scientist should be able to like take a data science project from start and take it to the end. So let's just move. So according to statistics also, like the average salary of a data scientist is about 115,000 USD. Then like the skills needed for a data scientist, a bit of mathematics, programming, and a data scientist should be able to communicate effectively is our analysis. So the most used tools for a data scientist is usually Python. So now like JavaScript is already coming in, and so a data scientist can use JavaScript also. Then we have SQL. SQL is used for querying our data. Then we have R also. R is a statistical language, so you can either use Python or R, anyone. So then we have a data engineer. They are also called data architects. So a data engineer are versatile generalists who creates data pipeline to help process large amount of data. So like where the data will be coming from is from the data engineer. So the data engineer makes the data accessible for a data scientist or anybody that needs the data. So they typically focus on coding, cleaning up the data set, and implementing requests that come from the data scientist. So okay, let's say I'm a data scientist, so I need like the data to be in a particular format. Like just tell the data engineer, so like they source it out and create pipeline for it to be very accessible to me. So the average salary of a data engineer is around 100,000 USD. They have like programming experience, mathematics also, and big data, because like data around us now are usually big. So like they need like some big data skills to be able to query them. So most time we use Spark for them, Hadoop, NoSQL, and Python in general. So then we move to a data analyst. So a data analyst most time always called business analyst. Unlike a data scientist, a data analyst just help to like transform the data, and just like what they do basically is just like generate insight from the data. So they help people from across the company to understand data insights. Yeah. So then the average salary of a data analyst is 65 USD according to statistics. So a data analyst should be able to like communicate effectively also the analysis, they understand statistics and have business knowledge. Then the tools basically used by data analysis, Excel, Tableau, SQL, and other like analysis tools. Yeah, then Gift to take over from me from here. Thank you.
Yeah, so like you heard, we talked about a data scientist, a data engineer, and a data analyst, right? So the main points where we are driving to this is how can you land your first job as a data scientist, as a data analyst, or data engineer? Generally, you call them data practitioners, right? So the thing is, there are lots of things to do. Like there are lots of busy things to do, but we'll be going to the pinpoint to make you land your job in data science. So let's move to the next slide now. Yeah, so generally when you start, there is this competitive data scientist. If you've not heard of Kaggle is just like a place where data data is stored, right? Open data, public data set is stored. You can hold different data set from like different areas, from the healthcare to the sales to the finance and the rest. So and to the sport and the rest. So you like as a beginner, you are coming in to the field. You're like, okay, how can I start data science? Kaggle is one of the way you can learn. Like just you see notebooks of experienced people, they've done stuff. So you learn like that through Kaggle. So one of these things why you should engage in competitive data science is why is a pinpoint for you to get a job is when there is also Zindi, right? Zindi is just like the Kaggle but for Africa. So what Zindi does is competitive data science also, as we are saying, they put out a tag there, maybe something like they've done stuff like vending logistics, for example. So you are meant to estimate the price and stuff like that for to the best prediction and all. So you stay at the top point of the leaderboard. So there are also hackathons that people like, if you've heard of, if you're from Nigeria, you hear of Data Science Nigeria and other stuff like that. From time to time, they hold machine learning bootcamp. They use stuff like Kaggle, they use stuff like Zindi to do that. So they place a prize on it, a monetary prize on it that, okay, if you are within the first second board, maybe you can have like 1,500 USD, the second 1,000 USD and 500 USD net. So when you are doing this, it will give you more experience to mainly how to like tune your model, work with feature engineering, right? So in this place now, you are tailoring yourself for the job. So it's not just about for you to land your first job. It's not just about trying to apply everywhere. You should know some things, right? Like you should volunteer, go to boot camp. Like I said, Data Science Nigeria, and there are a lot of boot camps. Like there are boot camps. There are boot camps in London, also US and the rest, and there are hackathons, right? So let's move to the next slide now. Yeah, so I'll be focusing on this. So in this now, we have building a profile. Let me just be sincere. When you start learning data science, like there's this intimidation, like I don't really know much. I can't put myself out here because I don't know much. There's this imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is the feeling like the feeling of you feeling like you don't really know much, even why you are doing stuff. Like it happens to everybody. You don't have to feel bad like, hey, I have imposter and all. You don't have to feel bad because even people that are not beginners, even experts, if you go on LinkedIn, you see experts talking about they feel imposter. Why? Like what is the cause of imposter? Because there are things to learn every day in tech. There are things to learn every day in like data science. There are things to learn. So now for you to build your profile now, you have to put yourself out there. I'll be talking about open source contribution, right? There's like open source have paved a lot of way for people. You can go to GitHub, just try to look for projects you can contribute to. There's this Oktoberfest, like if you're a beginner in open source contribution. There's this Oktoberfest. You can start with, I think Oktoberfest happened. They just finished one. I think that's 1 month back, like October, November. So even without Oktoberfest, you can look for documentations to correct or start contributing to your friends, like open source project, like maybe writing nice documentation. See how experts are written theirs, like try to contribute from that. I think at least you start from contributing to documentation. And before you contribute to a project, you have to understand the language, right? So for you to just get this, you can go through like the documentation of the language, maybe Python, for example. Maybe I want to deal with flags and Python and the rest like that. So I go to the official documentation, walk through how things is done. Then from there, I start building projects and understand. Then I start contributing the open source. So in this building your profile, the next thing I'll be talking about in landing your first job, I'll be talking about like I've talked about competitive data scientists, right? So I'll be talking about putting yourself out there on social media. So in this, I'll be talking about adopting content creation. What do I mean? There are different ways of content creation. Is simple. It basically means like creating content, right? So how can you create content, right? That's what we're discussing now. So you can create content by maybe posting threads on Twitter, giving posts on LinkedIn. I do that. I've been doing that recently, and it has been bringing a lot. You can start with that. Like if maybe you are bothered about writing an article, you are bothered about if you want to start writing an article, it's not so easy, right? You can start with posting online. Like you can post, like give posts, data science posts on LinkedIn, write threads on Twitter and stuff like that. The thing is, the more you write, the more you know how to write. So there are different types of content. We have the written content, which is the most popular one for data science, like blog posts, right? There are different parts for data scientists use. We have Medium, which is the most popular. We have Ashnode, we have Dev2 also. So like it's not advisable to just create your own blog, maybe a blog spot or something like that, or WordPress as a beginner, right? Because you don't have that attention yet. You have to create the attention. So how can you create this attention? It's just like when you start making posts online, people start noticing you. Then people is looking up to like, okay, what is this guy up to? Then you post on Medium. Like when you create articles on Medium from that, like, okay, my last article I created actually was as a result of my LinkedIn thread. I wrote it first as a LinkedIn thread. Then I feel like, oh, I can make this like an app, right? Then I make it as an article and I submitted towards it, and they were glad they accepted it. So you can just do stuff like that. And if you are trying to write on like maybe on Medium and stuff, what I would advise Medium, there are publications online, like data science publications. We have towards data science, we have towards AI, we have G culture, we have what are better programming and the rest. We have KD Node.js, analytics, there are much, right? So you can just write your articles and try to make sure it's free from plagiarism, because that's to show that it's your content, and submit to this, make corrections and all like that. Link your work, reference your work. So that I've talked about adopting content creation based on blogging. So you can adopt content creation in terms of podcast also and videos. Yeah, so we call them either blog or we can do it through podcast. So if you want to start as adopting content creation through podcast, you can start with what we call Anchor. Maybe you don't have your system and materials yet. Anchor is for like creating content like podcasts through with your phone, right? So you can start with Anchor. Through Anchor, you can publish directly to Spotify, yeah, and then Apple Podcasts after 2 to 3 weeks, and the rest like that. So you've created content, right? So the next thing we'll be talking about now is like you can write research papers. Like, yeah, I know that's more advanced, but you can also write research paper, like maybe for social development goals and stuff like that. So yes, that's basically adopting content creation. Yeah, so before that, I'll be talking about LinkedIn. Yeah, so I'm a fan of LinkedIn. Like, I don't want to say I have a lot of ideas and tricks on LinkedIn, right? Maybe me and Annie can create a video specially for that, but let me just highlight this. Okay, what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a professional network is a social media for professionals, right? So we as data scientists are supposed to adopt LinkedIn. I know you see a lot of stuff, people complain on Twitter about they don't like LinkedIn and stuff like that. But let me tell you, if you are trying to land your first job, one of the things you should adopt, like you should take your time to, is LinkedIn. So how can you put yourself out here, build your profile through LinkedIn? The first thing is you should have a nice headshot. You can maybe use an iPhone or maybe a Google Pixel, or maybe go to a photographer, like take an amazing picture, advisable to a white background. Why? Because if you're having an image on like a white background, it's kind of more sharp and it draws attention, right? Like that's just my own thought. So, and the next thing is your cover, your background photo on LinkedIn. You can customize it. Like if you can search for my name, Gift Ojabulo on LinkedIn, you see I customize mine. Like you can customize it, maybe writing your name, what you do, like maybe data scientist, machine learning engineer. It makes you look professional. Another thing is turning your connection to followers. Like that's a trick, right? So any recruiter that gets to your profile and see like you have this, but there's this way this follower button give you, there's this receipt that this follower button give you on LinkedIn, like as if you're an influencer already, like you can just do that. So people can easily follow, people can easily just follow you without you connecting back and connect with you. So the next thing now is, after doing that, your about section, right? Your about section, you talk about your achievements and things you've done in data science, your articles and the rest like that. You talk about yourself. If you want any action, like you can put the link to your GitHub and the rest like that. The next thing is your featured section. The featured section on your LinkedIn, like you should put the project you've worked on. Maybe you've written an article, you've built a project, you've done stuff, you've given a talk or stuff like that. This should be in your featured section. So when recruiter gets in your profile, these are the first things like they see, right? The next thing is your experience section. Like the experience section should be up to date. You can go online and be like, okay, search for, maybe if you've not gotten any experience, okay, this is how you can get experience if you've not gotten experience. So you can work as you can start as a competitive data scientist on Cargo or Zingy. In this way, you work on projects, you've gotten experience, right? Then the next thing there's what they call omdena.ai. I don't know if you can just search for them, omdena.ai. So you can go for Omdena to act as a volunteer, right? Just work for Omdena. You can apply as a junior machine learning engineer first or data analyst, right? You can just apply to that first. So outside that, there are other ways. So in this way, you've gotten experience, like maybe your internship in school. So you should, so this is Omdena on the screen, right? Just search for omdena.ai. You can get like, you see like the big project, like you can collaborate with other data scientists. Like collaborating with others will always fast track your, like there's this adage that say it is not like, if you are going alone, you can't compare to if you are going together with people. Like this, like when you go together with people, you learn a lot. Like you can't know everything, definitely. That's why there are communities. So you should collaborate with other data scientists to learn from them. No man is an island. So you can just streamline your featured section to, like, you can go and browse maybe data science job description. You see like Indeed is among the best. Like you go online to browse data science description, you see Indeed and the rest. So you observe what you did at your workplace to be precise. Like, so from there, you just like streamline or just put in line what related thing to what you've done in your workplace. Yeah. So this is my profile. Like you can see the headshot, like the background. You see Gift Ojabulo. Yes, you see data science machine. You see the headshot is white, right? So it draws attention. Then from there, you go to you see my about section. Just scroll down. You see my about section. You see I engage like my about section. Yeah. So you see my about section where I talked about myself. I talked about how many years experience I have in data science, outside data science, what I like outside data science, what I do. I'm a community advocate and the rest, like my love for writing, like I write, right? And my four quadrants, like my strengths, that's effective communication and I state that I'm currently looking for a machine learning engineer. So these are actually, you don't have to put the open to work on your LinkedIn. You can just make the open to work to hiring managers. Actually, you don't have to make it public. I will advise, because when you try to connect to some professionals, right? When you try to connect to some professionals, they look at it like when you put the open to work and other things. Some of them will just cancel your like connection because they feel like maybe this person wants to spam me with asking for job or stuff like that. So it's better you can just put the rest on your profile section. So you get certifications, right? Another thing, you ask for recommendation for people you've worked with, right? You ask for recommendation and you ask people to endorse you. And when you put your stuff out there, like writing blog posts, like I have a lot of endorsement for this. why, not because of most of them I didn't ask for it just because people saw my project and the rest like that. So we've talked about LinkedIn, and keywords matters in LinkedIn, right? So we know why when we are trying to write on LinkedIn, we put in word like machine learning engineer. If you put machine learning, if you go to my profile, you see something I put like data science tutor. You see me that I write e.t.c data scientist. You see me that I write data science generalist, because I know that if you can scroll down. I know these are possible things. Yeah. So you see sports data science, technical writer. You see e.t.c data scientist. You see data science tutor. Yes, and the rest like that. Data science generalist. Yes. Organizer and community manager. So these are just basic things, because when a recruiter wants to start and search for, a recruiter might search for maybe sports data scientist, and maybe I just put in data scientist here. You get that kind of thing. But because of you put sports data scientist now, you to bring out your profile. Maybe a recruiter can search for e.t.c data scientist now. Because of you put that keyword on your profile, it will just spit you out, and that's how you get the job. You can put data science tutor, like just, or data science generalist, right? So that's for LinkedIn. So for Twitter, right? Twitter is more of like developer community. When you put stuff out there on Twitter, like there are large network on Twitter. If you want to go worldwide, actually leverage Twitter. Like you can just make tweet now, before you know you are seeing a lot of people. So on Twitter, I'll be talking about, if you want to get a job on Twitter, see basically you can go to your search section, just type what I do. Basically, I just have for maybe junior data scientist or intern data scientist in that search section. So I go after, instead of you see latest, you see top on Twitter. So you go to like latest, right? You just see to pick intern data scientist. You see like it starts searching for roles, where they mention like maybe junior data scientist and stuff like that. So these are just basic techniques, right, to search for jobs online. That a lot of people neglect it. A lot of people be like, okay, how did you get a job? And how did you do this? How did you do this? Like you're not updating me just because of. But when you just search for words like this, yeah. So you see one of my posts like intern data scientist, higher junior data scientist. So stuff like that. You see job. You can just put it like maybe intern data scientist job. You get like intern data scientist job, or maybe data scientist job, or junior data scientist job. So these are keywords that you play with on Twitter. And there's this profile that posts data science job. I don't know, just search for new data scientist or new data science job on Twitter. You can search for new data science job on Twitter. New data science job. It's just together. Like just make it just together. It's okay. You can go to people. Go to people, right? Just go to the people. Like click on yes. Go to the people. Yeah. So that's it. New data science job. So you see, you can scroll down. You see where they said, come join our team. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm hiring data science summer interns to work with. They talked about this. So they're asking for hands-on knowledge. For interested, like please share your CV. Though this role is limited to like the US. So these are just tricks that you play with. Like there's something I didn't talk about on LinkedIn. Okay, on LinkedIn, like what I do most time if I want to search for job, like these are secrets and tips that like you are receiving this for free. You should be happy, right? This is one reason why you should subscribe to this channel. Like these are tips that I've noticed and observed. Like I made a lot of research. So what I do on LinkedIn, like when I go on LinkedIn to like jobs part, what I do, I type data scientist, then I put location, where other people will be putting like maybe location Nigeria. I just put worldwide, right? Just try that trick. You just put data scientist first. Like go to the job section, just go to the job section, go to the job section, then type data scientist, then it will ask for data scientist. Just click on that. Then if it asks for city, then city, change the city from Spain to like worldwide. Just change it to like worldwide. Yes, like change that to worldwide. Like worldwide. Yeah. So you click on worldwide. So it will bring all the jobs. So the date posted, just click on the date, change it to 24 hours. Like so past 24 hours. Yes. So if you are looking for a beginner job, just beginner experience level, click on it to see intern and entry level. Yes. So just click on that too only. Yes, no need to click for company. Maybe if you are looking for a remote job, you go to on-site or remote. Just move by right to on-site or remote. Yeah. So you click on remote. Yes, remote only. So when you click on this, so before you know, you see data science. Like within 24 hours, you'll be among the first set of persons to apply like for jobs, right? So from there, you just apply for jobs, and you see you can also search for data analysts. You
This
can
is
also
top notch.
Yes, like these are tricks. these are tricks that me I use, right? Like it's
Nice,
part
very
of the thing I
nice.
use getting my jobs and applying for getting recruiters online. So you just go there from there and you check the requirements. So maybe if you are using, you see on LinkedIn like maybe easy apply and the rest. You can decide not to use easy apply. You can just from there you can just apply and stuff like that. So you from there you just get experience. These are tricks, right? So let's move to the next section on improving on profile on that same page. Okay, job boards. Yeah. So job boards like remote, like we work remotely, right? You see, if you go to reworkremotely.com, you can go to just go to reworkremotely.com. Yeah, there are a lot that jobs in work remotely for remote job, but it's not limited for data science. There are also data analyst job. Yeah, you can search for reworkremotely.com. Let's just check that out. So when you go there, they are like I think the last time I searched for it was a lead community job, but lead community lead. So you workremotely.com. Yeah, just click on it. You see a lot of jobs there. You see engineering manager. So if you go to the product part, you can keep scrolling down. If you go to the product part, you see some parts for data. Just so keep scrolling. Go to the product part, you see some data analyst job. Yeah, so from there you see some they be like US only. Just keep scrolling down. Yes, go to the product part. Yeah, so scroll up. I saw data engineering stuff. Yeah, I saw data engineering. I saw something. Yeah, so see data. Yeah, so this data. Yeah, see this data engineering director. This data analyst. You can just go to like So that one is US only. You can go to anywhere in the world.
Full
Click
time.
on that. Yes, exactly. So anywhere in the world. So you can just these are stuff like you just take that. So the other side like Angel List, you get like Glassdoor, remote.io. So if you are really job searching, like it's not just about building your profile and building before. Like one of the tricks before you build is 4 things like you have to deal with. And like I said, these are 4 tricks that like I've noticed that a lot and I'm sharing. Right? Like you should be happy about this information. So the 4 tricks like I deal with when I started was I focused on GitHub, I focused on Medium, I focused on I've forgotten the other 2, right? I focused maybe content creation and stuff like that. So these are things that and LinkedIn, my LinkedIn and my portfolio website, right? So on GitHub now, my aim is I build data science projects. I share my work online. On LinkedIn, like it's advisable to share your work on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Like you can tag people, you can tag me, I'll retweet your work. Yeah, I have some fan base on Twitter and on LinkedIn that when I retweet, a lot of people just tend to get attention. So you can like just post your work here, right? So from there you can leverage your work, you can build your GitHub right like that. Yeah. So you can just go to my LinkedIn, like just type Gift Ojabu, like my name, Gift Ojabu GitHub. Just type that on Google, Gift Ojabu GitHub. Yeah, okay.
GitHub.
Yes, like go to my GitHub. You type online, just type Gift my GitHub actually. Just
Okay.
on Google, just go to Google. Just type my name, Gift Ojabu, right? Just type my name. Just spell it. You see the first link, second link should be GitHub. Yeah, so okay, the first link. So click on that. So I want to show you some tricks too. Like, hey, so you see the way I built my LinkedIn, like my GitHub profile here, like idea and the rest, what I do, languages I use. So project I'm proud of, right? So you can put a link, like well documented project, like my latest tech event, like I was the speaker at GDG Abeokuta. So scroll down, you can scroll down here. So like my latest writing, like I click that, then my research paper I've written, and I'm currently looking for a job. Let's connect here. The badges and what I've worked with, the profile views to track people just looking at my profile, and most used language and GitHub start. So you can like go to my project I'm proud of. Go to that section. I just want to show in case we are beginner. Click the COVID data app. You can just click that. So okay, scroll down. You see example of stuff the way I did my profile. Like I put my video demo, the tech stack I use. You can scroll down. You see, okay, overview on LinkedIn, like the link. Okay, if you click on that LinkedIn, click on the project, just go up. No, not that. Okay, yeah, you see, go down. Yeah, so you see project on LinkedIn. If you click on that, click on that. Now you see to take you to my LinkedIn, just click on that. Like where my post on LinkedIn, right? Like how, so a recruiter can see how, like I said, these are my tips that I use, right? A recruiter can just go directly, maybe to go down, you see the comments, like just go to the comments, Recruiter can check the comment from here. Yes, maybe who commented like Rising Odegwa, Caleb Emelike, yes, Vangelis and the rest. So from there, they get enticed like, who is this guy? So you can go back. Just go back and go back to my GitHub. Right? So these are ways. So like, what does he do? My motivation, the features. So you are explaining your project in this way, like what I learned, right? So just go down. So just go down. Like I'm just showing you tips like, okay, my project organization, I've not updated this, right? So link to the live, like go up. You see link to the live web app, right? You can just click on that so you can access it, maybe the project and all like that. So a recruiter can see that, like, okay, this is what this guy have done, another thing. Even without clicking on this link, go back now. Even without clicking on this link, a recruiter can be like, okay, I'm seeing the demo. Like, go back to my GitHub, like, just click back, just go back, just press back here. So you can go the demo. A recruiter, even without clicking on the link, the recruiter can see the demo, how I've worked on my project. Like, these are just basic tricks, right? The basic tricks I just used that, okay, recruiters, like, when they get to see your profile, another thing, like a lot of things that I do that not because of I learned this online. I'm writing an article on that to just share to people. A lot of this was out of experience and my observation, right? So yes, so just go to like after our slide, yeah. So like we talked about LinkedIn, remote.io, Indeed, too, yes. I don't really know much about that. You can search that. Yes, Stack Overflow, right? Yeah, there are also jobs on Stack Overflow. You can check that out. So talk about GitHub, you can search for hackathons online. So yes, you can just go to the next slide.
Yeah, that's the end of the slide.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Like, for a beginner that's like just started his journey or a journey in data science, like what's like the can you streamline everything for the beginner? Like, what is the best way for the person to actually like get a job? Maybe in like 3 steps.
Okay. Let me just summarize it. So for a beginner starting out data science, the first thing I'll advise is to get your hand dirty, right? Like I know you start, like don't be stuck to tutorials, tutorial L. There was what they call tutorial L, like where you just take courses. I was in that for long, like like where you just take courses and you feel like you are progressing. You just get certification of completion. Like if you go to my that's a small way. Because if you go to my LinkedIn profile, you see a lot of certification. Not because of that was when I started. Like I was just happy. I'm just getting certification and the rest like that. But it got to a point and I noticed that, okay, I get certification of completion. And I noticed, okay, how can I prove to a recruiter that I've done something, right? I just have to build a project. I just be like, let me go to build a project. Then from there, like I started working with data set from Cargo. I started analyzing with Matplotlib, Pandas and the rest. I put my project on GitHub. From there, like since I have this, then I built there's something I didn't mention. I built my resume with resume.io. Like they have amazing resume. Like I wish I had the link now by myself. I would have shown you my resume so that it wow you. So resume.io, like they have a template for amazing resume. Like if you can just do their 7 days plan, it's just I think in Nigeria it's just I think 1,200 naira. UK I think that's just like $20 and stuff like that. So you can just make that sacrifice and build nice CV. If I show you my CV, like you'll be wow, so like nice CV and resume stuff like that. Then when you get all these points, like maybe your GitHub, your LinkedIn, like after you've written articles and stuff, these are stuff you can put in your resume. And me, I don't really advise, okay, like I've given you tricks on like maybe applying for jobs online. You just observe companies you are interested in after building projects. Then what I do is I follow the people working in that company. Observe if I can get maybe like their Gmail, then I just propose, like write my proposal in form of mail and apply. Like, okay, you can check out my LinkedIn, my GitHub, see what I've done. You get as a beginner, see what I've done, right? So you just send out a cold email. Yeah, you can check how to write a cold email online. So you just check that. Like when you check that, send it. I tell you can do this like to company you love. Like before you do that, definitely you can make friends with them. Just ask about like if you are looking for a role, just share your roles online with people. But when you send a cold email to like each company have their own website, right? Maybe they have their career page. Then when you send this out, like when they see your profile and all, they get enticed. So easily they can just hire you. So you don't need to start going to the stress of I'll use one resume now to apply for like 30,000 jobs. Later I start feeling bad that you have that they rejected you. I start feeling like more. say like I'm not that good, you start getting imposter syndrome. That's wasting of time. Just get email, just get your work, get email, send code email to the company and just land the job. It's that easy. Then if they are not replying, you know there's something you need to do. Optimize your way, you get. So that's how to land the job, like in short form. Yeah.
Yeah, then I also get this question asked among newbie data scientists. They ask that people ask for work experience, like okay, like how many years of experience do you have working with data? So for a newbie, like she just probably just finished watching a tutorial on or maybe just finished taking a course. So like how do they get experience using data without actually working for a company? So I would answer that question, then I'll just give it to you. So for me, to get your hands dirty with data, like the best platform you can go to is this competitive data platform. For example, Zindi. Let's just check it out. So Zindi have so Zindi have a lot of competitions you can join. Like you get your hands dirty with practical and live data, and they even come with a prize. So apart from like getting experience working with data, you can still actually get a prize also. So this is one way to get like practical hands-on with live data. And apart from this also, we talked about like boot camps. So in boot camps, you can like have access to some data and work with and the rest. So I'll just leave the question also to Gift.
Yeah, so like that's nice. And like you have talked about Zindi. So in my own way, outside Zindi, what are other ways to get job and get experience as a beginner, right? So one of the first thing I'll be saying is work for Omdena, like mention Omdena.ai, right? So you can work for Omdena maybe as a data analyst, as a machine learning engineer. So after working for them, right, you get recommendation from what I've observed. They recommend you, like from that you've gotten experience. You can work with Omdena for like you see the work platform, the Impact AI. You can work with Omdena for maybe like 6 months. From that, another way that I would advise to get experience is write articles. Like you can write articles and get money, right? So there are different platforms for writing articles and get money. Like outside, though, before you start writing articles to get money, you should have written some articles for yourself, right? So you'll be able to show that, okay, this guy is a technical writer. So I'll be listing platform now to write articles and get money. In that way, you can also put it out there that you are a technical writer, the data science writer, content writer for this company. Let me list them. I'll be listing them. So there's Fritz AI. You can check that out. Like I mentioned, I said Fritz AI. There is Neptune.ai. Yes, the Neptune.ai. So like a lot of these companies, they really pay for like I think Neptune.ai pay up to $250 to $500 in per article. Yeah. So you can there's a lot of them actually. There's this platform. There's Twilio too. You can write an article based on data science using Twilio. Twilio pays $500. There's LogRocket too. If you are trying to write a data science article focused on web, focused on web, like maybe there's integrating machine learning and web, maybe data visualization with e.t.c or React. You can go to LogRocket. Like LogRocket pays I think $350. You can also write for Stack Overflow, right? Yeah. Stack Overflow also pay. Yeah, like I'm just listing some of them. Stack Overflow also pay for your write-up. I don't really know the exact amount, but yeah, in this way, as you are writing as a technical writer, like these are part of the ways I got experience, right? But one of the issues is like when you can also volunteer. Like there are some organization you can just look for organizations to volunteer for, maybe like work with their data and stuff like that. In this way, where you notice like maybe you worked on Zindi for like 1 year, like you have an experience of 1 year in data science like that. So you just different data set that you worked on. You work with Omdena, that's another experience for like 6 months. That's 1 year, 6 months. Another way, maybe you write articles for like maybe different platform or for some months too. You see that you are now a technical writer for different platform, like maybe towards data science, towards AI, Fritz AI, and the rest like that, Neptune.ai and the rest. So you've written articles for them. And all this, after doing all this, you ask for recommendation, right? At like in like doing all this, you just notice like you have an experience now, and maybe if you are in school also your internship, right? You can just add your internship experience to it. From there, you can just start from new data science and apply for intern job. Like maybe from there you get an intern job now. Yeah, that's another experience added. At the end of the day, you see that you've gotten like two years experience, which is the average entry level experience in data science that recruiters ask for these days, right? When like maybe you are surprised about, hey, I need to work with the company to get 2 years experience. It's not really like that. You can just work for Cindy, Omdena, and writing articles, right? And you get this 2 years experience, right? It's actually an experience. You learn a lot from doing all this. You can also cargo, right? And this machine art, like a lot of them, like you can get experience from that also. Yeah, so these are strategies for you to land your first data science job. Yeah, it's as easy as that. You don't need to stress more. Like I said, subscribe to this channel to see amazing content. Yeah, and more like
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
More content will come like this. So thank you very much. And this comes to the end of our talk. I remain Eniola, and thanks to my amazing data scientist, Oscar by name. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
All right.